Order submitted. Order cancelled.
Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone's had a great weekend. Ready for business. We've had quite a fair amount of volume overnight, actually, which is surprising. Usually we end up getting something like this, but we've had kind of a big kind of V-shaped pattern. Richard, how you doing, buddy? So we kept down initially, but then we recovered all pretty quickly and then dropped. I'm not sure why that was. Who knows? There's obviously a lot going on in the world at the moment. Could have been something like that. Who knows? So we'll see how we get on today. So start of a new month today, 2nd of February. Market is just opening now. That's likely to push up, clear these highs. There's nothing I can really do there, to be fair. I was looking at a possible failure here. We had a second entry long that triggered. Trouble is, I don't want to go short into that EMA. We've had a channel with a break, 2 pushes to a new high, so I expect this will probably fail. But as we've had this big move down, we've bounced here, bounced again, made 2 more attempts to get to the bottom, and we couldn't. And we had a really strong bull bar here, which took off. So I'm not going to... Oh, sorry about that smell. It's my dog. So maybe this is going to come down. I'm not prepared to risk this at the moment anyway. But there is a failure there. So we'll keep an eye on that anyway. But I'm kind of quite happy there. So we've got a channel here which is working up there somewhere. I don't think there's a break. Possible small overshoot. It's negligible. It's just kind of working the same as a channel. We've had 2 legs up. So... I'm not too bothered at the moment. Now, can I take this one? No. We've had 2 pushes up. We've only got to this midline, so it's losing a little bit of momentum, and we hit sellers there and there, so I have to wait for this. We've been up to the top a couple of times there, and 2 legs up. We didn't get anywhere near it, so usually... well, almost always that starts with a break of the channel, which we've had. So now, whether there is a very small break there, I'm not so sure. I don't think so. It fits pretty nice, I think. Touch, touch, touch. Maybe a small overshoot. I don't think it is. It's negligible, really. So, small break, we may get 2 legs down, so I'm just sitting tight at the moment. Nothing we can really do. Armanas, how you doing, buddy? Wilson, man, you smell, buddy. Okay, so let me just put in where I can see stronger levels of liquidity. There's 200 contracts there. There's 100 contracts to sell at 60. I'm guessing that it's hard to say at the moment because of this. Maybe a small break. Is it going to push up? Probably lightly. But we've had a small break there and a new high. It's not a huge channel, so I wouldn't expect much. So we got some news coming up in around about 25 minutes. It's kind of a bit scary trading at the moment with all the stuff that's going on with the US and Iran. You never know when things may rapidly change, and obviously the market is likely to get super affected by that. So hopefully they negotiate something before it's taken to the next level, because no one really wants war, do they? I know, you know, in a lot of cases, you know, people talk about regime change, but ideally the peaceful way you can do it, the better for everyone. We'll see anyway. But so we did push up. We had a small break here, push up. It's not a huge break, that. It's all right. I'm just looking at possibly something slightly different here. It's hard to say, really. I mean, we could have a channel with a break, 2 pushes up, and maybe something slightly different. I don't know who that is. Let me just turn that off. Looks like a typical cold calling type number. So yeah, so I don't know whether we're doing that kind of an angle. We'll see anyway. Okay, so we've got a channel up there. It looks like this may be failing. Having said that, we've broken out this range. Sorry, I'm talking about something you can't see. We've broken out this range and we've pushed in temporarily but pulled back. So whether that's going to continue in, I'm not so sure. Because of this move overnight, you never know whether we're going to recover some of this or possibly work down for another leg. So I'm always, I rarely take failed breakouts. They're not the greatest trades for me. I see What's It takes them quite a lot, Bart, but he doesn't have a massive amount of success with them. So I tend to avoid them. It very much depends. If it's this all day long, then maybe. But as we've had this kind of move down and it's been doing this, I'm a bit wary about. It does look like it's trying to come down. But we've already broken between these areas of liquidity here. They're a bit odd, those, weren't they? Very kind of wicky, very doji-ish. So, you know, we've had a break from this, 2 pushes up. So I would always give this a little bit of space. It's a bit hard to say at the moment. Second entry short up here, taking out of that. Maybe not look terrible, but as I say, I generally... don't take many of these failed breakouts, so I'll keep an eye on it. If I do something, I'll bring it in. Speedy, how you doing, pal? So is this really a break, or can we adjust things a bit? I mean, we could adjust things a bit. In fact, Thomas Wade already has, so maybe it is. I'm going to say it's not a huge channel up, but a tiny break like that doesn't really happen. And if then it continues up, then generally it's not a break, I don't think. I don't know whether I'd go for that. Well, straight away, it looks better on there, doesn't it, anyway? So actually, I haven't had to do no adjustment there. It fits okay, so... I'm guessing it probably isn't the way it's continuing on up. So let me have a look. So we've broken overnight highs anyway. We filled that gap pretty quick within an hour or two, I think. Pretty quickly anyway. So there are levels up here. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 where there is likely to be sellers if they think this market's going to continue down. I think with the way things are at the moment, it wouldn't strike me if it did a lot of sideways. Do you really want to be investing big in this just at the moment? We're not far off all-time highs. I think all-time highs was up here, so we're only maybe, I don't know, 40 points off all-time highs. With what's looming in the Middle East at the moment, do you really want to start putting, you know, larger amounts of money in this at the moment? I certainly wouldn't be. If I had a chunk of pension money and I was decided to invest in this, I would probably wait a month. Let's just keep an eye at what happens, because if it does kick off in the Middle East, you're likely going to see a day or two or maybe longer of this thing dropping, certainly initially. So I wouldn't expect a huge amount of larger buyers in this at the moment. Maybe just a lot of this. We'll see. Okay, so looking at that CL chart, now we've broken some liquidity. I'd expect to see quick rejection here, and we're not getting it. We've had a leg down with a little break. You expect it to do something here, but you don't know whether it's bouncing off the top or whether it's trapping buyers before this thing flushes down. See, I would have a go at that with a single account, but not anymore, really. In fact, that is probably more like that, I would say. So that is just a break. What is the seal chart? Let's just toggle off. I might just have a go on one account there. Have a look. 260. I'm just going to whip this one over to 260, see if we get a setup here.
Order submitted.
Is that just one account? Yeah, if we get a setup here, I'll have a go at this, just this one. But I don't want it to ruin my day. But it would have to finish below that EMA, so it would have to close on its low. Okay, that's not too bad, I don't think.
Order filled. Okay,
one account. $110 risk, that's not too bad, to be honest with you. $100 profit. But it is a channel down with 2. Now, there's a bull bar buying there. Now, I wouldn't be buying there right at the top. I would give this a little bit of time. So I expect that bull bar to get stopped out. So I don't mind risking $110 just on one account, but I don't want to risk it. It's a slightly more riskier trade, but I don't want to risk it on all of my accounts. So we'll just go with one. We're only a tick away there. We'll see. I don't mind picking up a quick $100 if I can. It's a small risk. I expect that bull bar to get stopped out. If it breaks below that bull bar, it should hit my my profit there. Channel down, 2 pushes up. This one account is $100, a little bit more than a few other of my smaller ones anyway, so I don't mind having a go. It has ticked below there. There may be some more there, so
target filled.
There we go. Okay, so quick $100. I thought it was okay. I think it was worth the trade because with a channel down here and a break, I would not want to be getting caught long there. I would expect that to get caught out. Little Hammer, how you doing, bud? So a quick $100 on there on one of my accounts. I don't mind doing that, just the one. Slightly more risky, but I thought it was worth it, so it worked out anyway. So let's get back to where we were. 247. Let's toggle that on, making sure everything else is working fine.
Order submitted.
Yeah. Okay.
Order cancelled.
Right, where's this damn thing going? Are we continuing up? I'm a bit nervous here, I am. Trouble is, we've got to have room to the top, and there isn't any really. There's maybe a couple of ticks to there, so... Thomas Wade's taken... What's he taken? Thomas Wade's taken that trade there. He's gotten a couple of ticks back. Actually, I think he's gone a bit lower. Let me have a look. It's worked anyway. He's out for break even. What's strange? He's taken an odd looking bar there. Oh, he's taken what he calls his something bar, I think. What's he call that bar? That side by side bar. Anyway, it's worked anyway. I think he got in a tick below the highs there. He's got in there. So he usually takes a 3, but he certainly will take 3 points at the moment. So he clearly got it. Yeah, I mean, it is kind of 2 legs back. I'm not a massive fan of this. The higher low is the better option, but there's no room to the top, unfortunately. He took the higher low. Oh, did he take the higher low? Yeah, so it's not very good, Ian. It's not triggered below that. If he took that higher low, well, actually, I don't think he did, and I'll tell you why. He's already out there, see? He's already moved his stop to break even, so he's put that as the second entry long. I don't quite know why he's done that, but he's put his profit in here, and he's at, am I thinking right? What? He took a deeper, right, yeah. You can see what it is, but it's not for me. Having said that, I'm a little bit more stricter than Thomas Wade. That doesn't mean he takes more losses. He's a worse trader. He's a consistently profitable trader who's trading about 10 contracts. So he's good at what he does and he's successful. So he does take slightly more risky trades than me, but hell, he doesn't seem to mind taking losses. I take sort of better quality trades because I still don't like taking losses. He will take them and accept them, so he's better at it than me at accepting it. So that's why he takes more than me, and he'll be making more money than me. I don't doubt it. Well, I tell you the way I see it is, if anybody makes money in this business, as far as I'm concerned, they got my respect because I know how hard it is. So I know how hard you've got to work, to make money. But one thing I like about him is he's not frightened to show his losses, and I think that says a strong trader. But he takes more losses than me, but he does take more trades, so and slightly risky ones. But the risky ones, if the risky ones are going to work 70% of the time, it's still a profitable way of trading. But I still don't like taking losses, to be honest with you. Which is why they don't bother me as much as they used to. Which is why I have my Guardian Angel trader locked to 1 trade. Because if I take a loss, I deem I'm much better at not taking any more trades till the following day. The following day, you're perfectly fine. Now, it doesn't affect me like it used to. But with the amount of trades around at the moment, if I take 1 trade, that's enough for me anyway, I think, to be honest with you. So, unless I take something, just an individual one, like that quick $100 on the CL chart. It's a little bit congested, but it's readable. You can clearly see we've got a bit of a channel. You can clearly see 1 attempt to go up, second attempt to go up. And bouncing off that top, you'll have 100% got some buyers there, so I expected it to come down. Now, they're saying most breakouts fail. What I'm noticing a lot lately, they fail temporarily. But obviously that depends on the context of the market. So we've had this big move down. So whether this thing is going to recover so much or it's going to break out and then continue down, it's hard to say. But I think this is worth taking it because I'd expect it to work, but I wouldn't want to risk it on all my accounts, if that makes sense. Now, sometimes I don't really like to do this so much, but it's clearly a second entry. We've clearly broke above liquidity here, and it's clearly a channel with a break. Now, this to me is a weak move up. It's moving up very slowly, but look at the wicks, top and bottom. There's a lot of uncertainty there, but the bulls are slightly bullish there. And then when we had the big strong bar, it could have took off. We just had two legs and it started pulling back. So my guess is it was going to clear any possible liquidity on here before it pushed up. And that's really all I was concerned with. I was a tick below that bar or below that bar there. That's all I was concerned with. So it's $100, isn't it? What is it? $90 or something? $96 after. I'll happily chuck an extra $100 in my account in a week. It's a winning trade, isn't it? So it helps with your average, doesn't it? So I deem that worth taking. I wouldn't hold on to it, that's for certain. But now, it always makes me nervous here when we're going sideways. For instance, buy in somewhere here. You never know how far this is going to push up, especially now we're above these little areas here. That's been quite a strong move up, that has. We've gone up 100 points, haven't we? Nearly. Oh, over. Yeah, I mean, that's a strong recovery, that is. Mind you, we lost about 80 overnight, didn't we? But yeah, I mean, yeah, the trouble is, that looked nice, but really we're struggling to get above this bottom line, aren't we? So does that mean we're losing a bit of momentum? It could do. Well, the thing could just keep on going up. Looks like it. Now, how many times do you adjust this channel? I think that's okay. We're still touching once, twice, three times, absolutely perfectly. Top doesn't look great, but the bottom still does. And look now, we've just got a 20 tick bar straight up. So now we've got above a lot of this liquidity. There's obviously an easier moving space, isn't there? And we're pushing up what looks like to test Friday's highs. We're not far away, so let's just mark that there as Friday's high so I know where we are. Now, I think this is all-time highs. Yeah, it must be. So I want to mark this as well. Locked, extend right. So I just want to keep an eye on those two levels. So Friday's highs, all-time highs. So 95, there are sellers, which are there. Actually, those sellers are right at Friday's highs, 95. There are some at 90 as well, which is there. So I'm guessing, if I was a betting man, I'd be surprised if we didn't at least get a pullback here. It's hard to say. It's weird, isn't it? When it's pushing up like that, it looks strong. But I get more, sometimes the stronger these look, the more nervous I get at taking a trade. Because just by kind of natural instinct, the quicker something goes up, the quicker you think if it comes down, it's going to come down quick. But, you know, it's hard to say. You might get in here and think, oh, it's going a bit sideways, we've got a bear, but then it's getting a bit risky. But you know, within the space of 3 minutes, we're up another 11 points. So I just think it's natural sometimes, isn't it? Just the way we kind of look at these things. What does that look like? That still looks okay. Touching here, touching there, touching down here. So, news we've got coming up in about 6 or 7 minutes. If he got in down here, he may still be in this. He allows price to come back quite a bit, doesn't he? But I'll be surprised if he's not into 10 or 12 points there, possibly. So channel break, new high. I'm a little bit uncertain here because every time we come out of it, I'm adjusting this and adjusting it. That makes me nervous. We're getting very close to Friday's highs. Actually took that second entry long work, but there was a lot of momentum. That got me hesitated. Always work. Great start February. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's nice if you can get a couple of trades in. I mean, I took 7 trades last month. Now, 2 of them were individual trade on separate accounts, but they all won, and I ended up 10,770 up. So that is probably the quietest month that I remember. December was, but you'd expect December to be. But that was the quietest month that I remember in the 5 years I've been trading. And I still managed to hit a few $100 shy of 11,000. So on an absolutely awful month, if you can do that, at least you can still earn a really good living. So obviously, if you get a really good month, that could be significant more. So that's the one thing I like about having multiple accounts, with prop firms. You don't have to get a lot. So, if you had 1 or 2 accounts and you were trying to live on that, it'd be a bit tough, wouldn't it? And you'd be a bit concerned. So I like the fact that I don't need to risk a huge amount, but enough to make some money. So that bull bar there didn't trigger on that bar. It did there, but then it got stopped straight out. Right, there are sellers at 85. That concerns, no, a little bit more, about 87-ish at the highs. Now, that is 2 legs down. The bit that concerns me with the size of the channel, I would expect a little bit more than just that. Now, Thomas Wade would probably take a higher low here, but I'm just going to sit tight. I'd expect a little bit more of a break. Now, trouble is, if you've got this like this, and you've put that there or somewhere like that, really, we could have had a small break. It's hard to say. It's starting up relatively steep, but it's starting to feather off at a funny old angle, and that's concerning me. Even something like that doesn't look too bad, in which case it's a small break, but we've got news now anyway, so we won't be doing anything now for the next couple of minutes at least. Okay, so that trade I took did hold. Usually, if it's a strong enough position, it will hold, but then we had 1, 2, 3 triple test. Didn't even notice that, to be fair. And then obviously down we come, so it worked for what I needed it to. All I was more concerned was getting below there, but we did have a triple test there, which I didn't notice, actually. So let's see what we get on here. Now I expect there'll be liquidity around this area. Will it come down as far as there? Certainly could do. I'd like to see some buyers. Okay, I think that's a VWAP, isn't it? That's at 65, which is there. So I'd like to see it come down below there, because there's bound to be some traders getting in that area there. But I'm not seeing much in the way of larger orders here as yet. Wait until release, yeah. We've got about 30 seconds away, haven't we, at the moment? One thing about news is at least it speeds things up for a minute, doesn't it? Well, sometimes it just does nothing. Sometimes it barely breathes. But there is liquidity down here, so it'd be interesting to see where this goes. So, nothing really. You barely even notice that. So, possible overshoot. Big bear bar trapped. Is that going to push up? I'm certainly not taking it. What I will say is it has cleared some liquidity there. Higher low bear bar there. So it may push up and stop that out, but I'm just sitting tight at the moment. With the size of the channel, I'd expect a little bit more of an attempt to push it down. So for me, VWAP's down here. This is kind of the area. Personally, I'd like to see it get below there, because there's bound to be some stops there. Traders trying to ride this thing. So a little overshoot here. Now, we could drag that down a touch and it works nicely along that midline. So a second entry short, stroke, lower high, or possible failure might not be terrible. But with such a bullish channel, as much as I'd like to see it come down here, shorting it isn't the greatest option, really. It's not something I like to do on such a bullish move. It just feels unnatural. It doesn't mean to say it won't work. But I'm just sitting around here. So news didn't do anything really. We had a slightly larger bar, and that's about it. So that's at least done now. We got some. That's it for the day. We had some medium as well, so nothing really happened. So if you took that bearish bar, you got stopped out. Okay, so sellers there. Sellers still up here at 95, which is Friday's highs. So a couple of legs up that may take out Friday's highs, but we still could come down for a second leg. It's always possible. So 85, 90, and 95. 3 lots of sellers there. wonder if Mac's back this week. I'm not sure whether the weather's improved over in the US at the moment. Okay, that's played out now. So channel break, new high. I mean, there is a possibility of a small break here and 2 pushes up to a new high. It's hard to say. It's irrelevant now, really. Anyway, we've done what we need to. Okay, so that's gone. Friday's highs up here. Yeah. Okay, sellers there. The next bunch is at 95, 200 contracts there. So I think there's a fair chance that that breaks Friday's highs. Okay, Friday's highs. That looks like that's going to push through there. I think we just literally bounced off, I think. Pretty sure we'll push through it. There's a ruck of orders up there, some at 2.7, some at 7. So there's plenty of orders up there to suck price up 750. That's there. We've had literally, that should push through. There we go. So Friday's high is broken. Now, is this going to push up? I'm guessing it probably will because there are sellers here and here. So Friday's highs have gone. That next bunch of sellers have gone. And there are more there. 220 contracts there and 220 contracts at 705. So it is sucking price up. I would expect a little bit of a pullback though before we get up there personally. There are a few buyers around about here. Let me have a look. Around about the 5 level. I'd have preferred it a little bit lower, but we may come back and test kind of this area. Who knows? So, looking at the CL chart, I was looking for a second entry long there, or hoping we're going to get a bear bar here, push down and trigger it, and then push up for a second leg up, because there'll be liquidity here and there as well. Unfortunately, I was hoping here we may just pull back a touch, give us that nice little stem, and then a quick bit of a quick push up, and then we'd have plenty of room to get up here or then to here. But unfortunately, we haven't had it as yet. It looks like after that big move down, we've bounced twice here, we've bounced twice there, we've had 2 legs down, couldn't get anywhere near that midline and pushed up quite strong. So my guess is I would certainly expect it to tackle the high. Well, we've already done it, to tackle those highs and possibly some of this, and maybe recover some of this. Unfortunately, we didn't have a setup because that would have been lovely, especially with stops there and there. That would have been strong stops. But there you go. What can you do? Okay, so that's another level that's been taken. So we've got 05 up there. Where we are now, are they sellers? Where we are? Yeah, we're hitting some sellers. As I say, I'd expect a little pullback, but that might be it. Wow. Getting a little bit of movement here on the oil chart. If things do kick off in the Middle East, you can expect it to affect the price of oil, that's for certain. So channel break, new high. Can't really take that. We've got to move down. It's a second entry long failure there. It's a bit congested. So second entry long, which is triggered. So I don't know, maybe a second leg down. Is this ranging at the moment? It is resembling a possible range. Oh, there we go. So it did work. This is flickering down a little bit quicker than I'd like, to be fair. The fact that it's pushing down and recovering quick is telling me maybe it's not necessarily news. But channel break new low. We have cleared previous liquidity here as far as there. So we could get a move up. It's hard to say at the moment. It's moving a little bit quicker than I like. So that fairly did work really quickly. Trouble is, it was a little bit, oh yeah, easily. It worked on that first bar. Okay, sellers there, sellers there. So, I mean, that is a really bullish move up. Mind you, we recovered half of it. We more than half of it we dropped overnight, but that's got to be 120 points and some. Oh yeah, and the rest. 137.5 point move, that is. God, if you catch that bottom. Okay, so straight to those sellers. There is some more there, but we've got some up at 15 as well there. So, I mean, that's very strong, isn't it, that? Just looking to see if there's any other type of a channel that I like. A couple of people have got this. It's hard to say at the moment. It visually looks okay, but it isn't touched many times, so I'm not sure at the moment. Have we got anything from Dan yet? I don't think we have we? No, nothing. I haven't seen a chart from Dan yet this morning. Tell you what, let's just have a quick look at the 10,000 tick chart, see if that clears anything up. So, It doesn't really, does it? I mean, if I jig that around there, that fits really nice there, doesn't it? So we got a nice channel up there with a break and a new high. So that's the sort of simple end of it, isn't it? That looks okay to me. There's the break, there's a new high, clear spike and channel. But we broke Friday's highs, and we're not far off. All-time highs are about 40 points, give or take, about 40 points up. But you can see there, Fridays, Thursdays, Wednesdays was the all-new high, so all-time high. So the way that thing's going up, I wouldn't be surprised. But I'd expect a break at some part of the day because it's such a strong move up. And if that's all we've got, but you never know. Sometimes things just go that way. But I'll be surprised if we don't get some kind of a. So I'm happy that that's a channel. I don't need to adjust it or move it. Fits nice. It's clear on the. It's clear on the day the 10,000 tick chart. So there's the break. Clearly, I'm fine. That fits okay for me. There's a break. New high. Now I'd expect some kind of a pullback. The trouble is these strong days, I find them more stressful to trade, because when the thing just keeps continuing up, you're thinking we've got to get to the point where it's going to go, okay, let's have a correction. And usually the stronger the thing comes up, usually we have a big correction. And I don't want to wait to get in to the, till the price decides that's enough's enough, We're at 7,000, could start. Yeah, I mean, it's a big round number, isn't it? I was talking to Vladdy a few weeks ago. He doesn't even trade at these bigger round numbers, but we're having a bit of something here. But we're not far away from all-time highs. Where did I mark? Oh, well, maybe a little bit further away, yeah. We've still got a bit to go. That'll be so. It's not a huge amount, but the trouble is the further this thing goes, the less I want to trade it. And it sounds weird in a way, doesn't it? Because when we're in a big bullish market, it's kind of the best. But I find sometimes these bigger bullish days are the worst to trade, because half the time we get back and we just take off. We don't get any kind of a setup. We had a bull bar there, but we didn't really have a setup. A setup there, but isn't that a bit early? You know what I mean? It's hard to say, but it took off. It's very easy to mark to something like that, but I don't know. Maybe you're saying, well, it is, and I suppose it was really. It is kind of confirming it, isn't it? But I think the bar was about slightly over 5 points. I wasn't here then anyway. That was about just after 1:30. I didn't get to the charts about 1:45-ish. So I wasn't here then anyway. So possibly two little legs back. The trouble is now we've had the break. We've had one move up, little bit of sideways, and then two more pushes. You have to give it a bit of space now, don't you? Because what can you do? I don't know when it's more experience or getting older that's making me more paranoid. I don't know. Okay, so I'd expect some other kind of a channel up here. Just not liking it at the moment. I can't see anything larger. Just doesn't make sense. A couple of people have got that to that, but it just doesn't work for me at the moment. Maybe later it'll look okay. So you could argue a little range there, leg down, down across and down. maybe a little fail breakout and go long. But the trouble is, now we've done this, there's always that possibility price could reverse. With how bullish it was, that would surprise me, but it certainly wouldn't surprise me with some kind of, I mean, that's very tempting. Trouble is, now we've had this break and a new high, I'm not 100% sure what I think's going on, so I'm just going to sit tight here. It is a little breakout that maybe fail, but are we going to go down, across and down, which could take us down here? There'll be liquidity down here, so personally, I'm just leaving this alone. I think what happens in the first few seconds is a good indicator of where price is going, so I'll be amazed if that doesn't get stopped out. We'll let you go see. So there's bound to be traders thinking this thing's... That's the issue I have. You see a massive big move here, you get a little bit of a range, you get a breakout that looks like it's failing, clears any previous liquidity in that, and you expect it in some cases to take off. But the more this thing moves up, the more nervous I get at trading it, you know. I mean, Matt goes, yeah, you know, when you have a bullish day like this, you can more or less buy at anywhere, but you don't know you've had a really strong bullish day until the end of the day, so it's not always that quite simple. But we've had this move up, we can clearly see, spike in a channel, we've had a break, we've had a strong push up, a little bit of sideways, and then we've had 2 legs up. So you need to give this a bit of space to either correct and then maybe find, you know, possibly some other avenue. Maybe this will be, doesn't look terrible. If we get a strong bouncy and push up, then it may continue up, but there's always that possibility it may reverse. You just never truly know, really. This type of day is very difficult because there just aren't any clear legs. No. You know, see, when I first started to trade, when I first learned to trade, we were trend traders. So we traded currency, and we would use an indicator or a bit of software that will give us a weak currency and a strong currency, and you pit the two together and you've got a trend. And that's what we used to look for, trends. But I find trending days, you know, especially relatively strong trend days, are some of the hardest days to trade, because you don't know. I mean, yeah, you may argue we've got a little leg down and a new low, and we've got a triple test to a degree, but the rule is we don't buy into the highs if we haven't got enough space. You don't know it's going to take off. It's very easy to mark that at the end of the day, because you know what it did. Same here. There's nothing you can trade here, unfortunately. Do you want to trade that? We got 3 bars stacked. We got a leg down, a bit of, so you don't know whether we're going to have a second leg. But once you see how it panned out, you can kind of say, well, if you could buy her off the bottom, well, yeah, you could. But there's no setup. So you kind of, you know, you're fighting into the unknown, aren't you? That looks nice now, but at the time, it's not quite that straightforward. When you see what happened, you can't unsee it. But I don't know. Sometimes there'll be something clear. I don't even count now or anything. All I want to see is a picture that I go, I like that. I'm not too bothered either whether we have a break, 2 pushes to a new high. If we get a nice second entry and I like how it sets up and we're trapping shorts, then I may have a go. But unfortunately, when you get days like this, sometimes they're the hardest to trade. I mean, if you're a trend trader and you manage to get it in, they can certainly be profitable. But for a Pats trader, it doesn't quite work that way, because we go for a small fixed point. Yeah, I mean, if you've got a runner, then you may capitalize on a runner. But it's just one of those. And not only that, with being a Pats trader, you've got no room for error. We have 1 bar, that's it. If you get in there, our stop goes there. If that triggers comes down 1 tick below that stop and takes off, our trade's lost, even though getting in here might not have been a bad option. But, you know, a lot of other traders will kind of see it bounce here. They may jump in kind of there, put their stop here and put their 2 to 1 to 2 profit up here, in which case it works a lot. You know, you don't know whether that's going to push down a bit lower and maybe clear that and that before it takes off. And if our stop's 1 tick below the signal bar, we're kind of screwed. So the difficult part with Pats is you have to wait for a strong entry. Otherwise, there's a good chance you may get stopped out and then it ends up taking off anyway. So that's why Pats, I think, is a bit tricky to learn, because if you've got bigger stops, you know, if as long as you're catching the bullish move in a lot of types of trades, and your stops, if your stops here, you get in here and your profits up here, a lot of the times that slightly stop will save your arse. But from a Pat's point of view, you've got to be bang on every time, otherwise it'll just eat you up. If you're a Pat's trader, you have to put a target of 2 times, 3 times when you think price is trending. Yeah, and take your. To be honest with you, with my accounts low at the moment, if I got my accounts to $7,000 or $8,000, I wouldn't mind holding on a bit in scenarios like this. I've said for a long time, when my accounts do grow, and I'm not, my drawdown is $2,500, $2,600 at the moment, which is not a huge amount. So I don't want to push my luck. If I get into a trade, I'm pretty confident that I'm going to get 3 points. I'm not so confident that it's going to go up. And not only that, especially with Apex, it affects your drawdown if you try and get a bit of bigger move. But if I had an account that was nice and healthy, I would absolutely hold on a bit longer, because sometimes they won't work. But if you catch a good one, if you manage to get in here, the potential to catch a massive move, really, even if you sort of take it up here, even if you follow these bigger swings, you may get stopped out there at 34 points. So the potential, you've only got to get one good day like that every kind of month or so in it, and that really sorts your accounts out. And in a lot of cases, it'll cover all your losses as well. So I absolutely will at some point, but once I get out my drawdown, and my accounts get like an healthier round number, unless they put me onto a live account, of course. Change gears on. Yeah, it is. Yeah, there's so many different dimensions to trading, isn't there? I think Matt calls them multiple personalities, which I think is a good example. Some days these are easy to read and they're nice and clear. Other days it's like you're out with a complete stranger. It's weird, isn't it? So, have we got a channel going down there, and have we got a break of it, in which case it may come down? I'm sitting tight here, to be honest with you. We've got sellers there right at the top, which above the high, so that may slightly pull price up. We have got buyers at 90, so that may slightly pull price down. So we've got buyers above and buyers below, but even so, it feels unnatural taking a short to me in such a kind of bullish move. But this could be the start of a correction. You never know. We could have something like this, couldn't we? Clear any previous liquidity here, and then maybe something larger. Who knows? But it feels unnatural for me to short when it's like this. If you think about the actual moves up itself, that is very bullish, isn't it, really? When did the market open? So how long have we been trading for? An hour, basically. Hour and 5 minutes officially. So 31 there. So let's call it there. So, we're up 60 points in an hour. And before that, overnight, we're up at least that again. So this is pretty bullish. Some traders love this stuff, don't they? I'm always a bit nervous, because by the time you realise how bullish it is and you get in, it decides to do this. So that looks okay for a channel down. I can see it curving around the bottom and then straight off this bottom. Is this going to come down? You've got bulls here, and buyers here and buyers here. So we could have a quick flush down, but my guess is it may have a quick flush down, but I don't know. Who knows? Especially when it's slowly doing this. You never know it's that bullish. Buyers might just see this and just jump straight back on board. There is a higher low there, but I'm not taking that. There may be a channel. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a quick flush. At the moment, this is the time to wait for me personally. If you did take that higher low, it wouldn't have worked for me as of yet. It would have to get to there. It may work. But after this is the area where certainly where I'd expect some kind of a correction. There will be some stops there, so if it gets above there, what would have been my profit target if I'd have taken it. It's just a bit uncertain here, to be honest with you, with that possible move down. But if it hits there, if it hits those stops there, it'll quite likely hit where my 3 point have been. But yeah, trouble is, yeah, I know what you're saying, but this to me, down across is looking like a channel. So you don't know whether we have something like this. See, I know what I think. But it's not kind of what I want to do, you know. Yeah, I do keep zooming out. The trouble is, when we pushed up so much, I'd expect a bigger correction. That's what I'd expect. 2 drops back. And I'm going to put my neck out here because I still think this is what's going to happen. Where it happens, whether it happens up here, I don't know. But I'd expect something like that. Let's put it between there and there. There are some buyers here, see, so yeah, you just never know, do you? Okay, so we've broken Fridays, as we know. I was thinking that's Thursdays, isn't it? It's not, is it? Thursdays highs, that is. Okay. Now I want to see a correction. Move up with kind of a leg and a leg. So I want to see price pull back now. Trouble is, when you see these bullish days like that, I for some reason I get more nervous trading with the market than kind of a smaller range. I kind of like it when it's a bit of both. These are the type of size channels I like trading. You know what I mean? We get a nice little channel, 2 legs up, second entry short with a second leg down. Those are the kind of. But when we're moving in a you know, when we're kind of doing a lot of this kind of up and down stuff, you know, you can have a channel up there with a break and then trade long, have a channel down here with a break, trade short. So you've got twice kind of the option. But when you're moving up so strong, you can only really trade in one direction. And you never quite know when this thing's just going to change direction like it is now. My opinion is we've got to get a correction here. It's such a strong move up. We've had this big push up with a break, 2 little legs. So we've got to push down. There's going to be liquidity here. I want to see a second leg down here. That's why I've put that there. In fact, I'm going to take a big bathroom break. By the time I get back, price is going to be there. That's my prediction. I'll be 1 minute. Okay, so I'm going to stick my neck out here. So, channel up with a break, new high. Now, that push up there is just as steep, if not steeper than this. So, we've got to get some kind of correction. I'd feel much better trading the markets if we had a correction. If we had a correction and it continued on up, I'd expect another move then. I mean, it's not a huge correction, but depends on what you draw this for. But if we have kind of a nice couple of legs, clear some previous liquidity, there's no reason why we can't push quite a bit higher. But that's what I like about a correction. You give it a little bit of time to figure out, you know, what buyers and sellers want to do. I'm guessing if we get down here, maybe clear some of this, you're probably going to get more buyers thinking about getting back in. In fact, there are some. Let me have a look. So about 90, 91 and a quarter. Where's that? 91 and a quarter. Right below liquidity there. So there are buyers there. There's some a little bit lower, say about 88 and a quarter, which is about around about there, which is below that liquidity. But two attempts. This is a very kind of a penguin type of a scenario. We have a push up. We make two attempts to go lower. Sometimes he'll jump in here, put his stop down here, put his profit up here. He used to wait for it to push above that EMA and then drop a limit order, stop, profit. But these kind of nice, neat-looking legs are usually a good indicator. If price gets above that EMA, that it's going to continue up. Who knows? We'll see. So you can see there's buyers down there. The next lot of sellers I can see are around about 17 area. 70, say 17. So there's sellers up there. That would be, I'm guessing, no, still not. That's not Thursday, Friday. Yeah, okay. So Thursday's highs are up here, and then Wednesday's highs, all-time highs are there. So I'm going to put that there as well. So that's Thursday's highs. So let's lock that in and extend it right. Change the color. Let's do that green. So we got Thursday's highs and all-time highs. Let me just double check that so I know where we're going. Yeah, okay. So So, oh shit. All-time highs. And this would be, what's that? Thursday's highs, these. Thursday's highs. So with this correction, if we get some strong momentum up, my guess is this is where it'll work towards. The other thing is we are at the 7,000s, yeah, hopefully. We are hopefully maybe bouncing off and continuing up. It's hard to say, really, isn't it? It's hard to say. It's not an exact science trading, is it? It's just kind of, the more I do it, the more I realise how experience does. I mean, you'd expect it to, anyway, but how much experience? There's so many different dimensions to trading, isn't it? And it's obviously, clocking up all those hours and hours and allowing that to kind of make all the decisions for you, going on kind of in the back there. So channel with a break. This is the area I'd expect it to target. And there are buyers here, which is kind of above it and below it. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if we ended up having something like this, which would take us, depending on where it was, if you catch the bottom of the measured move, it takes us 3.5 points off all-time highs. So maybe something like that. This could be slightly something different, but just from a break, one leg up with the correction and the second leg up, that's kind of where you'd expect it to. Now, whether it does that is another matter, isn't it? But I'm just going to leave those there as a kind of a reference. In fact, that one needs to come down a bit. Needs to go up a bit. So, yeah, this kind of area. So, channel break, new low, one push, second push down. It's bound to come down here and clear some of this, bound to. You can see these buyers are starting to appear. We've still got strong sellers up here, but they're quite a way away and they won't have the same amount of pull, that kind of magnetic pull at the moment. So 87, where's that? Yeah, not super strong, these. There's 150 contracts about there. The trouble is these contracts get moved and shifted all the time, 92.50. And there's buyers there, 102 contracts there, 148 contracts here. So, Mac's back in business, finally. So, yeah, we've kind of had a look at that. So here's got that up like most of us have got. And then we kind of had a look at something like that, but it didn't fit well for me. So I'm back in the office this week, but only a sparingly. I'll come and do mid-morning report, blah, blah, blah. I now have power and water at my home, and I have power at the office. Yeah, so at least he's back in anyway. At least he's healthy. So, yeah, he's got that channel up there. And then something slightly wider. Now, obviously, we've had that move up, haven't we? So he's just dropped something in here now. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. I mean, his channels change throughout the day as and when things change. But move up with a correction. So trouble is you don't know how far it's going to come down. See, we've got like a leg and a leg there. We've got a bullish bar there, and it has broken the previous lows, but I just couldn't bring myself in. No, it's a double bounce there. I just couldn't take that. I would like to come back as we're on the way down and clear a little bit more of this. It may take off here, but I wouldn't take it. It's 17 ticks. Yeah, I would just wait here. I mean, it's quite a strong move off the bottom. It is there, but it's not low enough for me, to be honest with you. Now, as we've pushed up a new high, we pull back. We may make a new high or attempt to break the high, and it could possibly reverse. So I would always avoid this first one, give it a chance to clear previous liquidity, and then see how it reacts. So yeah, Mac had something like this. It's a bit weird. I think he does have some odd channels sometimes. He's got something like that. Doesn't look terrible, but it's not. It wouldn't be my first choice. But you know, he knows what he's doing. So maybe this is 2 pushes and we continue up. Who knows? I would just prefer to get below some of this. Let's see. I'm not a massive fan of that. And even if it is, we're not quite getting to the top. So we just keep an eye on it. So sellers at 700, which is good. 7,000, which is good. That tells us that this may come down a bit more. Buyers there and buyers a little bit further down. May take off. It could do, but I'm just sitting tight here at the moment. You may get a bull bar here, jump in along it, those sellers, and then come down. So, leg and a leg, bull bar, possible high or low. I'm sitting tight here. There's always the possibility we could be reversing a touch. Doesn't look super terrible, does it? That will be a second entry short, trapping longs. But it could go up, so I don't know at the moment. I'm certainly not going long here. And I'm not going short either. We've come off the bottom, so it may trap you short and get a double trap, but that's what I can do here. And not only that, there's sellers there which have been hit. Right to this 7,000 area. Okay, so that bear bar has triggered now here. So is this a short failure? Nothing I would take, I don't think. There are sellers at 5. Now, as we've come off the bottom, I wouldn't want to take the second entry short just in case it turns into the failure, because as we come off the bottom, 2 legs down, we could push up to the top. So we could trap bears here and push up. The fact that it's come down about 8 ticks below there is interesting. But this could quite easily turn and push up. Okay, so if you took the eye low, it's just stopped you out. So You got to be careful going long and short there, in my opinion. I'd have preferred it to come down a bit further. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is it. Maybe it's not. But if we get 1, 2, this could possibly be a triple test. So about 88 or so. So there are buyers there. There are some buyers there. Trouble is, I wouldn't want to take a triple test here with a load of buyers below me. Oh, excuse me. Oh dear, someone's got trapped. Someone got trapped taking that long. I won't show you his name. He went long above there. Big risk that was. Trouble is, we've got liquidity down here and buyers. It's too risky, really, doing that. I'd like to push below at least some of these, so that's now gone. That would be better for me as well. So that would constitute a triple test, which is very tempting. My concern is there's a lot of buyers there between that area. Now, it may be low enough to not make so much of a difference, so it may still work. Depends, but to push this up, it's going to take aggressive buyers, and that bar's no good anyway. We're getting more sellers here, slightly more sellers. But that could change, of course. So, that red there that was about 88, a lot of those contracts are dropped, but they're still there, in fact, a little bit higher. Let's call it about there. So there are buyers in this area. There's about 300 contracts in that kind of area. Is it enough? They're not super strong, but there is liquidity. There's bound to be. So for me, if it hits that level, it'll clear this liquidity, and then I want to see some kind of reaction. I mean, this could be reversing, who knows, but at the moment, we're just looking at 2 legs down. So from there to there, and from there to there, that takes us in the right area. I wouldn't take a trade here. It's got to be below there. It's got to be below there for me. And then I would only catch it maybe with a higher low. 90. So 120 contracts. There's about 350 contracts between here. So it's a big, strong bull bar, but it's not interesting me. It is a triple test, so it may work, but I'm sitting tight at the moment. If you look on this chart here, we've got a second well, there's a big bull bar off there, isn't there? So there's bound to be some stops there. Where is that? So that's 90.5. If you look around there, just below there, there's about 350 contracts, which is the largest amount I can see on the board at the moment. So my guess is this could come down. It depends. If there's enough buyers from this level, it'll push it up. But with that liquidity there, strong bull bar there, strong high low. I've just got to wait here. Super risky. You know, I get the idea, the buy there of a triple test, but it was such a big bar as well. I mean, it's what, 15 ticks, same size as that by ticks, a 15 tick bar. It's quite large, isn't it? And I'll be amazed if it doesn't get stopped out. If it does, it may break below there, and then I want to see some strong rejection. So, done exactly that. Now let's see if we get strong, aggressive buyers coming in. It could be reversing. It's always possible. So any previous liquidity there, really, there was no kind of high or low. It was a very slow, steady, strong move up there. So if this is going to push up higher, this is where I'd expect it to happen. So sellers at 7,000, which is there. So there's plenty of space up there. There's 7 points up. I'm still not ready to go long yet at the moment, just in case this thing is starting to reverse. I don't think it is. It just looks like 2 legs and then a bit of a liquidity sweep. See how it came down, then finished bullish, but I'm still not ready to go long just yet. We've got to get above that EMA, really, for me. Strong buyers there. It was about 88. 87. Oh, it's about 88. Around about there, strong buyers. So if you took that bull bar, triggered you, stopped you out. If you took that bull bar, triggered you, likely going to stop you out. You never know. It may turn. I wouldn't hold my hopes up, though. Especially with 200 contracts sat around, 220 odd contracts sat there. It's about there. Point is, it's below that bull bar stop. Okay, let's have that second leg down. Now, there is a possibility. It doesn't look terrible. Now, I'll give this the benefit of the doubt and say 1 leg down, second leg down. Once we get down to this area, be interesting to see what happens, because it could get down here where I expect it to pull up a little bit and continue down. But as we've had this break and a really strong move up, what's the new smell? So, has it taken the stop out? Not yet. Pretty sure it will. Right there, and then it'll start pushing now into these buy orders. It's about 8 3/4, I think. Okay, so that stop's gone now. So we're hitting these buyers here, and we're very close to this measured leg now. So okay, right to the tick. Now let's see if we get some kind of reaction. As we've hit those buyers, there still is some more here. If buyers start to appear down here and down here, it may continue down. So our buyers around about 86-ish, just below there. Sellers still at 7,000. So is this another bull bar trapped, or is it going to push up? I certainly wouldn't be taking it. The last two failed. That one failed. And that one failed. Okay, so let's see what happens here. If this is a channel, it's going to continue down. I think this is where we'll figure it out. Now, because of the size of that move, there's always that possibility that this little correction is just nothing. Could be substantially bigger. We could end up getting something like this. That really looks quite large, but when you zoom out, compared to the size of the move up, it's nothing really, is it? It hasn't even come back 20% barely, is it? So if that's the move up, we're barely back. We're barely back about what, 12, 13%, 12% move back. It's nothing, is it really? Probably easy to do that the other way around, isn't it? Maybe not. So, let's see if this is a break, or we've had two legs and this is pushing up. My guess is it may come down here again. Who knows? Oh, excuse me. You're pestering me, you, eh? I'll put that back if it does come down a second. So we've had our two legs down there right to the tick. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick few-minute break just to make a quick cup of tea. Just put that on my chart. Yeah, we've had a couple of legs and we continued down, so it's hard to know at the moment, but we did have two nice legs right to the tick, so this could now continue up. And as I say, we got a leg up. We could move up for a second leg up. You know, we got sellers up here. We got Thursday's iron all-time highs up here. So who knows? It could do that. So I'm just going to leave you with that, and I'll be back in about three or 4 minutes. Okay, so it does look like we are pushing up. So, bit of a correction. Drop down, cleared previous liquidity. So, sellers at about 3. There, which is not far off. Actually, just, yeah, about 3. And there are some 5. So between 3 and 5, there are a lot of sellers there. A lot of sellers there. 1, 2, 3. So there are traders maybe thinking this is a range or it's going to reverse or what. I don't know. Who knows? So yeah, between that area there, sellers, there are 130, 230, 310. There are about 420 contracts in that area there. The strongest I can see. So we'll see. So that does just look like 2 legs. I'm going to leave that there so I can mark it later. Looks like a spike in the channel to me. Quick move up, little pull back, another push up, and that's when it seems to be working in that area there. So I think this is going to continue up at least to this area, which is kind of, you'd expect it to at least try and retest now. I still wouldn't be surprised if we had a little bit of a break here. But with sellers above price, a couple of little legs down wouldn't be a bad idea. It'd be nice if we can get below that bar there. That might give us a little bit of depth. Now you may argue there's 2 little second entry long there. Now my guess is that would probably work, but I'm not getting in that close to the top. There's very little space before we start hitting sellers, and you'd expect to see sellers at the top, of here. So nothing you can do with that bar now anyway. We're actually coming into sellers here. So big strong bar, pop down at the top. So you know that little strategy I've talked about on and off for a few years? These little kind of thin channels, what I consider a double width channel. Can't see many of them at the moment. Almost like 2 bars side by side. Whenever you start moving into them and you get a bearish bar, if you just bought at the close, 2-point risk, 2-point profit, obviously depends on the ATR. So if you just bought at that close at a 2-point risk, 2-point profit, that worked. Exactly the same there. Pull back. If you just bought at the close, 2-point risk, 2-point profit, that worked as well. Quite often I see a lot of those, and if you went for 1-to-1, that I don't think is a bad strategy. I'd mentioned it once before. I just started noticing it, and someone said Al Brooks's trade something like it. But this I would consider a single width bar. You can just see. But then when we get something a little bit wider. That's probably a bit too wide, but it's a thin enough channel for it to work. So it's a very simple strategy. It doesn't really matter whether we're going short or long, it tends to work. And the beauty of that is you can trade short or long in this kind of area. So it's a strategy that's got an edge. I'd like to have a bit of fun with that just one day on maybe, I don't know, a take profit trader. Maybe come back for an hour in the evening and see if I can get some kind of move. If you're just trading one contract, 2 points either, it's $100 higher there. I might have a go at that, but same there. We get a wide channel, we get a bearish bar. Now I prefer that to be a little bit more bearish, but nonetheless, if you bought at the close of it, 2 point risk, 2 point profit, it worked. That one worked as well. So there's two just within that move up there. So it can be really profitable. That you don't always get them. Sometimes it just chops around. But whenever we get these kind of slightly bigger moves, same there. I wouldn't consider that. But when we continue down, that bull bar there, if you just sold there, 2 point risk, 2 point profit, it worked. So it can be really lucrative. That one there, maybe, if you did it, that one, it eventually worked, and that one did, but I think you'd have to be quite strict. It's easy to see them when they've happened, but same again, we got a channel here. When we pull up there, that one I wouldn't take, the first one there, but that one, look at that. If you just hit the sell button there, 2 point risk, 2 point profit, it worked. Same there as well. There's nothing really bullish in that, to be honest with you. But it's a very simple strategy for, you know, if you want to trade just a little bit different. I may have a go on a take profit trader account and just you know, trade a couple of contracts and just see if I can't have it be 200 profit or 200 loss. I might trade it in an evening just for a bit of fun or something, just to test it out. So you can see there's 200 contracts for sale right there. Yeah, Thomas Ways just posted that second entry long at the EMA. Yeah, and that's kind of what would be nice, wouldn't it? Whether we get it or not, it's a different matter. And not only that, we're bouncing at that 7,000 level, so if we can get something. We've touched the EMA, but no setup, unfortunately. Maybe this will trigger and maybe give us someone else. Nothing, unfortunately. It's gone too high now. Can't see it pulling back now. Come on, drop below there. Gonna have to come down a bit further for me, to be honest with you. I'm not going to take it floating in the middle of nowhere. The good thing is there are sellers there, so if we get something down here, there's plenty of space. There we go. Now, let's see if we can break below there and get a second entry along. We want instant. We need some strong buyers right here. That is a first entry. It's gone too far, to be fair. If we could break below there, tick that, you could say 1, 2, 3, triple test. For me, it's got to break below there. I'm just going to get an order ready here, just in case. If it turns quick,
order submitted.
Might jump in. Okay, now I need to see some strong rejection. Smaller on this one as well. The beauty is. It's actually no different, to be honest with you. 10 ticks. Not sure about that. We got some larger orders down here. It has triggered. Let's see what happens. Something about this. It's just making me a little bit nervous. Lance, what does a second entry long at the EMA mean? 2 attempts to push back, basically. Which we've had. It's there. My only slight concern is we had some buyers down here. It looks like it's working. Yeah, I've got mixed feelings about this. What I will say, 1, 2, 3, it is a triple test as well. Bounce, bounce, bounce. So, see, there's some orders down here. It looks like it's going to work. Just something about it. It's put me off a little bit. I mean, you could get an on a limit order here. It's not actually, it doesn't look that bad, to be fair. Some of the Marco's just put, I wouldn't take it here. Something about this, I'm just not. As I say, I've said a million times, it's something about the picture for me. I don't think the setup looks that bad. There may be a bit of an overshoot. It's hard to say. My slight concern is, can you see just below here, there's 100 odd, there's 108 contracts, about 8 or something. Let me have a look. Where are they? Around about 8. There's 100 odd contracts there. Now, I think it's going to work. I was very tempted to get in on a limit order there. Yeah, it's hard to, but what it basically is that we've had the first move up, which isn't as high as a second, but you can see what I mean. 2 legs back, and we're looking for a bullish bar. It looked okay. It is working, I think. But we are going into the longs at the top. And you can see those orders there on Bookmap, which are just making me nervous. If we got a higher low here, that would be a safer option, I think. But there's just something about this. You got 8 ticks, did you? Yeah, I don't think it's a bad trade. It's just something about it's making me nervous. I don't know why. The channel looks okay. Maybe a small overshoot. It's negligible though. We have got big orders up here, so you'd expect it to test the top. I would prefer a higher low, trapping some shorts. See how we got this bear bar here? Triple test. If this pushes down and then reacts, that might be a better option. We'll see. Is there enough room to the top if it does? Not really. I would go for a couple of points if that's the... But it is a triple test. Maybe it's just taking a bit of heat. Sometimes you've just got to trust in your trades. I think it looks okay, doesn't it? Depends how you've got this channel with a break. Yeah, we got a doji now, so there's only a 1.5 to the tops. I think it'll work.
Order cancelled.
I may even have a go. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let me just toggle off. Where's this one account? 831. Hold on a minute. It's not 831. What is it? 260.
Order submitted.
If this higher low triggers, I think it'll continue up. So I'll just go on this one contract if it works. Don't look like it's going to, does it? So that wouldn't have worked for me, the second entry long. Now let's just see if this pushes up strong. So, good decision to stay out of that. It is a second entry long, but it wouldn't have worked for me. Tick above it, it would have given me, because it's got to push through, you'd have got 1.75 points. It's got to hit there for me, so it would have been a losing trade. So it's a smart decision to leave that. It just, there's something about it just didn't look right. Let's get rid of that. So put it back to how it was. 247. Toggle back on. Make sure everything's
order
opening
submitted
as it is. I mean, there's a possible a little failed breakout, maybe.
Canceled.
Yeah, it does. With lower lows. Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, it's a triple test. To be honest with you, if I keep saying that, if Mac marked it, it would have worked for Mac. So I wouldn't be surprised if he marked it. It depends how you've got that channel. There may be a small overshoot. Sometimes those overshoots can be minute. I remember about a year ago, 8 months, 10 months, a year ago, there was a load of us got caught out on a trade, and Max said small overshoot, and he left it. Well, whether he left it, he said he did. But sometimes it can make the difference. I mean, it depends it depends how you got this channel. Something doesn't feel right, though. My instinct is usually pretty accurate. Now, we may have a break, and it depends how you've got it. We may have a break, a new high. It depends how you've got it. Let me see if I can see some other channels. Well, Mark, I wouldn't be surprised. Let me have a look. Did Thomas Wade take it? 2 ticks from the high. He's got it as a second. I think he may have taken that one and probably lost it. Well, it depends. No, I don't think it'd be enough. He's marked it. I'm not sure what he's taken it. He's put a line up against it, though, so he may do. He's got that channel fitting, but there may be a small break, a new high. So it's one of those areas where experience kind of makes a difference. Now, I didn't have it like that. I had it more of a spiking channel. If you look on here, it looks more like a spiking channel also. I think it does. We've got the spike up and the channel, so I don't know. Also, you are going along into the highs, but you have got plenty of space. If you go in there, 3.25, that would have worked, 3.25. That's without even getting a bit higher. So it's nicely sat on the EMA. If you got in premature, it took you out. The only answer there is perhaps it is something like that. And there's I don't even like that, to be honest with you. So who knows? Went for 8 ticks and got out. If went, yeah, Mac may mark it. It depends. It'd be interesting to see. Now, whether he'll make a video or not tonight, who knows? But that a lot of the times, that's why I kind of watch Mac. But that doesn't fit nice for me. For me, it's a straightforward spike and channel. But you know, sometimes they're not super clear. I think that's a spike up and a channel. It looks neat to me. I don't know. Who knows? Mind you, what we got to say is we've already had a break and a new high from this channel, so maybe we've had another push up, and maybe we'll try it again, and maybe you know, traders are saying that I want to go long into these highs, and maybe that's the case. You took it for 5 ticks, also measured me. Yeah, I think setup wise it looked okay. Now, you know, I am aware that if I go for 3 points, on some circumstances it won't work. But it still works out better financially for me. But, you know, you'd still expect it to push up and make a new high. But what I will say is we've had a break. We've already had attempted a new high and a little double top. So that's, I don't know, there's something about it that's making me hold back. Now, if we'd have had a very strong higher low here, then I'd have had to go on the one account, but no more. You know, sometimes I don't know. It's not straightforward, is it? But a trade was off the measured move. Caught a nice runner. Yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? You know, it's trading isn't easy. It does take time and experience, and my experience told me to stay out there, so it was a good decision to make. Now, as I say, if you'd have scalped a point, did it even go 6 ticks? I think it depends where you go in. I mean, a lot of the times I hover over right at the close, but if you'd have taken it a tick above, you'd have got 0.75 off that. Takes a tick to push through, so it'd have been all right for a scalp. If you're going for 2 points, you might have made it. Depends. Thomas Wade sometimes goes in a bit early, so you know what I mean. But we've been up here a few times now, haven't we? And when we've had 2 attempts, you just don't know how things are going to change. Now, is this just ranging for a bit now? It's hard to say, but I will say experience gets me out of risky trades much better than it used to be, and that does come with time. It's a nice feeling when something doesn't feel right and you leave it and it wouldn't have worked, and I get that more and more as kind of my experience kind of grows. It's a nice feeling to know there's something not right about this. So I do seem to be in that kind of nice kind of area at the moment. Look, always works for Matt because he goes for 4 ticks a year. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, as a setup, it wasn't terrible. It looked even better up here. There's nothing nicer than having your bull bar sitting beautifully, if I'm looking at the left chart, sitting beautifully on there. That usually indicates really strength, but for some reason it just couldn't get up. Now, bearing in mind, we were pushed up here with a spike of chant. We'd already had a break and we'd made an attempt and we got very close. So sometimes if it struggles, you don't know, do you? You don't know what's going on. It looks like it may be a bit rangy. We've pushed up there after the break. We've made another new high by a tick. We've had a 3rd attempt and it hasn't quite got to the top. So that may be something to do with it. We're getting close, but I'm always nervous about trading into support or into resistance, and a few things there that just didn't feel right, because I was looking at it thinking, well, the setup looks okay, but there's something about it that just is making me feel a little bit nervous. So I think it's definitely worth listening to those voices, because they come with time, don't they? Like any job, you just kind of get a gut feeling, don't you? There's something that doesn't look right here. I was just thinking the other night when I was saying this same thing, that when I was a bricklayer, I remember when I was learning to be a bricklayer, my walls were all over the place. But when you've been bricklaying a few years, 3, 4 or 5 years, you can look at a wall without a level and just go, there's something not right with it, because you get your eye and you get used to seeing something. And I know generally when you do a building, you'll put the first course around, make sure everything's level, and then you'll start building corners, and then you'll have little blocks with your line at the corners. But when you're building a corner, you're obviously checking your level, you're checking its plumb, you're checking your range. You have to do very little to it when you get more experience, because your eye gets that good just knowing, and a couple of little taps just to straighten it. And it's surprising, the more you look at something, the more something doesn't look right. And if you trust that feeling, it saves you more times than not. I mean, some trades will go off, but experience, that's what experience is about. It's about looking at something and going, something's not right. Absolutely, experience is everything. But when you stop making as many mistakes and you start avoiding the bad trades, it's a lovely feeling. You feel like you're finally getting somewhere, but it doesn't come quick. Excuse me, it does take time. So I'm just going to move that to there and then lift this a touch. It'll fit nicer at the bottom. So is this just coming down to the bottom of a range, or are we going to push up? I don't know. There may be some kind of a range there. We got no Karina today, have we? No. She's actually sent me a friend request over the weekend. So yeah, maybe it's going a little bit sideways. To be honest with you, with such a strong move up. Do you remember when I had this down as my... Do you remember when I had this as my little correction? And then later I went the size of the channel. It wouldn't surprise me if we ended up having this. If we get down to the bottom here, you know, I'm thinking the smaller term, but it's not even 20% that big move up. So this just may be a slightly larger correction. And then possibly for a second move up, who knows? I'm going to leave that on there, so at least you can see what I got in mind. So there's a possibility. So what was that? 86 or something. Okay, there are 133 contracts there. So maybe instead of thinking that's the correction, maybe this is slightly larger. In which case, if this is a channel, we could. Trouble is, trade it in the middle there. So, having said that, there's a reasonable amount of. There's 16 points from the top to bottom, so there is a possibility of being able to trade it. We've made a triple test here, and it's clearly falling. So we got 2 legs down. I want to see what happens here. A second entry short here, I don't think will be terrible. So what I've got to be aware is there are sellers at the top, which you'd expect. So we've got a touch, and a touch. It's fitting okay at the bottom. I will want a clear second entry short here. So I'd like to see that trigger and then maybe try again. I don't mind trading in the middle if we've got a big enough space, and there is plenty. What did I say? 16 ticks, 16 points from the top to the bottom. Yeah, comfortably. As we've done that 3 times and we're starting to fall, I'd be surprised if it doesn't continue down. So we have got orders down here at 90, which is there, and about 87, just below 87, which is there, and there as well. What did we say they were? 130 contracts, somewhere around about there, which is right at that measured move. Okay, so we broke above that. I don't know, fairly lower high, whatever. Well, it's just a lower high, really, from this move down, isn't it? Okay, I'm just going to take a bathroom break. I'll be 1 minute. Okay, what is going on here today? Well, straight up. Now, orders do seem to be getting further and further up. If I look on the right side here, you can see them, can't you? Even up as high as 50. There's a chunk of contracts that start kind of 25, 12, 10, 12, 25, certainly up this area. mean, that's moved up pretty strong. So, leg up. Couple of attempts to go back. Leg up. There's no other way. I don't think I can draw that. Maybe that works okay. Well, it wouldn't be terrible, would it? Bounce here. In fact, I think, is that what Mac had? I think that's what Mac had. So maybe he's useful after all. It might be where Mac had his chart. Let me just go and have a look. When did he drop in? It was a while ago, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was. So that's where Mac had his. Well, it's playing out. We've got a touch, a touch, a touch, and a touch. So maybe the old fella's useful after all. Well, I mean, he obviously knows what he's doing, doesn't he? It's not something I'd like, but shush. It's clearly playing a part. So, love you. See you later. Bye. Yeah, which is why I think it looks a bit odd. But you never know. If we get up here now, it might end up being just, kind of something like that. If we end up getting up to the top, you think about it, you know what I mean? You never know. We could get into that realm. So, I mean, some of these charts, they don't really help you as such. I certainly wouldn't want to buy there. I just took that off. I certainly wouldn't want to buy there just off the bottom. Yes, it kind of works, but it's easier said than done just to jump in. I will say it fits beautifully at the bottom. There's no argument there. I mean, you could say, 4 nice touches there, a couple of nice touches there, one there, one there. You can't really go long there, I don't think, especially when it's going sideways, because we've kind of had these. Mind you, we've only bounced one to the bottom, so maybe the range isn't just so good. Maybe it's more just this. But when we're going sideways, you naturally think, maybe this is where we're going to go. But we actually had a couple of legs down, cleared previous liquidity, and it's gone up ever since. So, with the exception of this pullback, but. So yeah, they don't always help with these. It's nice to have a bit of guidance that it does look like it's continuing up, but the trouble is when we trade channels, it's usually the smaller ones. It's much easier, but when it may take an hour to get to the bottom, if you're trading it that way, it's not as straightforward. It's just one of those things, isn't it? Really. Definitely it's really staying rangy here, isn't it? I mean, right since when was this? 5:30 this morning. It's just been rangy. We had that kind of, in fact, I'll get rid of that now. We had that kind of breakout, and I took it in. It actually came down for a couple of second legs, but then we've continued to do this. So, I dare say if this kicks off in the Gulf, obviously it's going to affects everything really, but you expect, especially with that region, you expect it to definitely affect oil prices. So who knows what will happen here. So is this just, mind you, we've had such a big move down, haven't we? It's hard to know what's going to go on with oil prices. Obviously oil prices, when it comes to wars and things like that, especially in the Middle East area, it's naturally going to affect oil. We get a lot of the oil comes from that region, so you don't know whether certain areas are a little bit more dangerous for shipping. But we're pretty much just shopping around here today. So it's just really range rules, isn't it? So I suppose at the moment that doesn't look too bad, does it? So we do seem to have been in this bit, then we a little bit up the top and that, but I don't know. So if we can get a couple of legs down and up, maybe we'll get something. We'll see. So I'm just going to kill the colour on that. So it's an area of interest, really. I mean, as somebody mentioned earlier, it's only touched the top once, but it has been very consistent right down that bottom. Obviously there's a certain amount of randomness to it, but maybe here and here. But after this, when we get a second touch, you know, I think there's a good chance traders are buying in these areas. It probably looks a little better. In fact, let's switch over to the 10,000 tick chart. Maybe things look a little bit clearer. Yeah, I mean, I can drop this a little bit. That actually looks a little better, doesn't it? It's not quite so steep. If we get a pullback here and push up to the top for that second leg, then actually that looks a little bit clearer, doesn't it? We've clearly got a spike and channel. We've got a break and a push up, 2 legs back. We got up to the top here and we pull back again. So that looks a bit... I do go through times of having the 10,000 tick chart just in a small window somewhere, but I got no space at the moment. I've only got 3 monitors since I built my new computer. I've got it on the desk, whereas I used to have a separate monitor. I might have to jiggle this around and get it, because I think it's useful, because sometimes this can just clear a few things up. If I adjust that like that, it just looks much cleaner, doesn't it? Down to the bottom, up to the new high, 2 legs back and up again. So, yeah, I mean, it does look like we are continuing up. And as I say, we ain't far away now from all-time highs again. Wherever we are now, we're what, 30 points, 32 points-ish? So, at the moment, we seem to be working around this middle. So what I need to be aware of now is where are their buyers and sellers will help me make better decisions. So there are sellers at 12. I'm guessing that's above price. It is. There are sellers around about 16 and a quarter. Same again, above price. All heading up for this. Now where are their buyers? There are buyers around about the 6, which where you expect buyers to be with a pullback. If we get one, of course, just above 7, fat little higher. Well, actually, no, 6 and 7.5. So 6 and 7.5 buyers, not a huge amount, so it may not even make a difference. But buyers here, sellers there. Yeah, if we do get this measured leg up here, that will get us up to the top of the channel. So, okay, so I didn't think there was enough sellers here. Right, there's a large amount of buyers just below price here now. They've moved a bit. I didn't think these were strong enough to pull price down. This is still looking quite bullish, isn't it, this? Couldn't continue at that level, could we? It was too steep. But we've got to be up over 150 points for the overnight, since the overnight lows. Yeah, a point away, point or two away. The trouble is, it gets to these areas and takes off. There's just no way in, is there? Okay, so channel break, new high. So I'm going to pull back here and expect it to test this area here. Let me just have a look what's going on here. Okay, so Thursday's highs, all-time highs, still up here. So small channel there with a break. You'd expect it to break below here. We need to see what happens here. Trouble is, these bigger channels sometimes just, they kind of put you off. We got a leg up, clearly going sideways. I'd like to see it come down and test the highs of here, which you kind of expect, wouldn't you? You know, 2 legs up, 2 legs down, retest this area, and then maybe get some more buys in. So there are buyers at 2.7.5, which is there below here. But there are some at 2.5 as well. Not as many, between 2.5 and 2.7.5. That's so buyers in this area. This is kind of where I'd like to get it to come down to. So 7,000 down here is VWAP and some buyers. That is a super strong day, isn't it? Biggest strong move we've had up for a long time, I think. I mean, that was a fair size, wasn't it? But it was a full day. This ain't finished yet. We're up 160 points. Got to been. 150 points almost. So channel break. I expect a new low. Come down here. Trouble is, we can't take a long off here really, because you don't know whether this thing's going to continue down a bit lower in a bigger channel. I'm going to say the way it's working, you certainly could take some shorts in this because there's plenty of. I'll be surprised if Mac doesn't have 1 or 2 marked. That not necessarily, but this is wide and kind of sideways and 2 legs back. You can trade this. Shorts really. I generally avoid them, but with this, the way this is working, absolutely. So channel break, there's nothing you can really do here. We're coming towards the EMA. I think there's a good chance we have a couple of legs down, break below there and here, start to hit some buyers. So any little bit of liquidity that may have been there, that's now gone. Bitcoin's taking a bit of a battering, isn't it? Proper hammering. This could be the start of a bear market. Michael Saylor's Bitcoin position. He's got thousands of them, hasn't he? It's Bitcoin as well. Oh, it has picked up a little bit today. 79,000. What did it get down at? 74,000. That's a fair old drop, isn't it? I think last bull market went up to about 68. So we're only about, well, what did it get down at? 74. So there's only about $8,000 different. I think it went up to 120, something like that, didn't it? Maybe a little bit higher, 124, 125,000. So, interesting to see over the next bit of time where things go. I mean, really, the altcoins have done crap this time around. I bet a lot of people have lost thinking we're going to get a standard bull run, a standard bull run. It's been nothing like that. I mean, there's been one or two, but not much. Ethereum's done absolutely nothing. I think it barely clipped all-time highs from the last bull market. Solana's the only one really that's had any type of a push. That went down to, I think, about $9 or $10 at one point, and then it went up to 270 something. Things have recovered a bit today, but so many have just done nothing this time round. Ethereum's done crap. XRP's not done too bad. Doge hasn't done good. ADA hasn't done very good. Link hasn't done very good. H-bar, I had good hopes for H-bar. I had some H-bar. That's doing crap. CRO at the moment is 8 cents. I got into CRO last bull run. I got one of their cards, the ruby red card. You had to put £300 in, and you got to keep it for, I think, 6 months or whatever. I bought it at about 20 cents. It went up to over $1, but by the time I was able to sell it, it had dropped. So the trouble is, there's that many coins nowadays. People are hearing different stories, this, that, and the other, and they're getting in and spreading their money. They just don't seem to be as profitable. The only one that's had a good solid time is Bitcoin. Bitcoin went down to, I think, about 14,000 at its lowest, and then 124 at its highest. So that's Bitcoin and Solana really are the only ones that had a kind of a real big push. Yeah, I mean, I got stitched up on some of them. I got into Saitama, I think, a couple of years ago. I bought about £500 of it, and they had that big event in Vegas, and just before that event in Vegas, my £500 went up to $2,000, or $500 went up to $2,000, so it gone up 400%. And then when they had the event, they said because they were having this new wallet, this new card and wallet and all this sort of thing, it wasn't ready and the thing dumped. And I got out and I lost a few £100 on it or whatever it was. And I made a bit off Shiba Inu, a little bit off that. But I think I lost more than I made, to be fair. I got none left now. I made a little bit off what I had maybe 6-7 months ago, but it's just, they've just done shit. Bitcoin's had a solid year. It went up. I think last bull run it was about 68,000. So it nearly doubled that. And it came down to 14,000. So, you'd have made 100-odd thousand off that if if you're ever lucky enough to time the top right. But it could be a triple test there and a push up. Trouble is there a channel down there? You may buy the long and get trapped by the short. I'm just not sure what's going on at the moment. Looks like it's trying to go up, but when it's doing this, you never know how far it's going to pull back before it pushes up. You like this failure? Not at the moment, mate. Trouble is, if you took the failure, triggered you and stopped you out, or it will do. That's the problem with going short in a bull run, in a bullish move. So second entry long, triggered, came down, it triggered you and it's pushing up. It may come down, but that's the problem. It just feels so unnatural for me to go short in such a strong move. I'm not saying you can't, but if it breaks above there, then yeah, it's probably going to trap a few shorts, but I'm just not getting in here. You could argue it's a triple test and you may want to go long, but there could be some kind of a channel there. You're going to hit stops there and possibly there, but would I really want to go long at the moment? Not really. I've been into Bitcoin since 2017, so done quite well out of it. Its use case is taxable and much clearer now. Companies and nations start. Absolutely. I know Michael Saylor. I followed him on and off for a couple of years. He's got thousands of the damn things. Yeah, so if you took the failure, you got trapped and it trapped you. I mean, if I was a young lad again now, I would invest in Bitcoin. In fact, now is a reasonable time to buy it. It's only, what, $10,000, $12,000 higher than the previous bull run. So it's not a terrible time to buy it. I think there's a good chance, depending on how things work out now, that maybe price may start to come down, but it's certainly, if I was going to invest in it as a pension or something like that, you just kind of dollar cost average it, wouldn't you? Just put a bit in every month, and that way you catch the lows where you get a bit extra and you catch the highs where you lose a bit. But it does seem to be something that's going to hang around, isn't it? As you say, bigger. Well, the US government have got a stack of them, haven't they? I think Trump's clued up with quite Bitcoin as much as he thinks. He did say they may use some of it to buy a country. I don't think they have that much of it, but trouble is, you never know how these things are going to turn around when you haven't got anything kind of tangible. At least with things like gold, you've got something. Obviously gold prices can go up and down, but generally over time, it goes up. But I mean, if you're investing and you want to make a bit of money, then things like your Bitcoins and that can make you a lot more money than most other stocks can. I mean, if you manage to buy Bitcoin below 20,000, you'd have made what, 600%. You'll never make 600% in any other kind of stocks unless you get absolutely lucky. So, just doesn't exist now, does it? Really? I mean, even the S&P 500, I've got a chunk of my pension in that. I think that's averaged 12 to 14% over the last 10 years. In nowadays, that's a good investment, really, if you can make that sort of money. So you could argue there's a triple test there. I'm not so sure at the moment going long. It may do, but it may come down. Now, when it's like this, it's very hard to trade. Yes, we do seem to be generally still moving up, but you never know when we're going to get a pullback like this or like this or like this. There's a fair amount of pullbacks here, so you don't know whether you're going to get caught going in the wrong direction or before it decides to trigger you and come back a little bit. But yeah, if I was a young guy now, I'd start investing in Bitcoin, £100 a month or whatever you can afford. Because it does seem to be something that's going to hang around, and it's not the worst price to buy it at now. It may still go up. Who knows? Has had a big leg down with an overshoot, 2 legs up and a new low. Strong support. Yeah, I was listening to a guy earlier said if we don't recover now, this could be the start of the bear market. But even if you buy now and start following it down, it's still not a terrible price, under $80,000. The thing is about crypto as well, you've got to be prepared to hold it for a bit, because you never quite know. But if you could start sticking money into Bitcoin now and keep it for 20 years, you could make yourself a tidy profit there. So 2 legs down. That could be a possible second entry short. Would I want to go short? Not really. That short didn't work. That short didn't work. So selling at the moment is trapping traders. If you sold that, came down maybe a point, turned up, stopped you out. If you took the failure, triggered you, came down a few ticks, pushed up, stopped you out. So that's the trouble with going short. Sometimes it just, especially when it's moving up. And we've had that big push up, break new highs. So sometimes we may have a correction or an attempt to go lower. And that's where it might push up. But at the moment, I'm starting to think this may be a little bit of a range. The bottom's looking very rangy and kind of neat. So I wouldn't want to go long here, and I wouldn't want to go short. The good thing about having a range is if we do get some bounces, we could, push up from this kind of area. I don't think it was a terrible trade, that. I just didn't like the bar. Clearly a triple test. That one worked, but then you took a bit of heat on it. Trouble is, it's only a small move down, really. You don't know. I naturally think a lot of the times when we come back, we test kind of previous highs. So I won't be sure. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a couple of legs down to kind of test this area. So sellers there and sellers there. Wow, shot up quick. Literally crossed over and up it went. You going, Richard? Yeah, you take it easy, pal. Yeah, they're on to the UK government are on to the crypto guys now. As soon as you start making money, they want a piece of it. There are still ways, aren't there? Some of them I know, because I used to do. I bought some with. It was the company. Can't use them in the UK at the moment. Kraken I've always used. You get really good, very low costs there with Kraken. And Bybit I used for a while, a couple of years ago. You can't use it in the UK anymore. Obviously, they need to follow UK rules and regulations. I'm not sure whether Bybit you have to have KYC at the moment. But that's why if companies won't get you for KYC, the UK government don't want them in the country because obviously they want to know what you've got. But there's probably still ways of keeping it. If you've got these coins, there's probably ways of keeping them out of way of certain government tax, but it's definitely getting harder and harder now. I think you used to be able to get up to 10 or 12,000 pounds free in the UK. They've changed it now. I think it's very low. Is it 1,000 or 2,000? That's as much as you can have tax free in the UK now. So, do I want to go long here? Not really. I'm expecting a couple of legs. This type of scenario, move up, break new high, 2 attempts to go lower, and then maybe continuation. I'd like to get down. There are some buyers down here, which is below. There's a higher low there, bull bar there. So break a bit of liquidity here, get some move up, then we may get something. Channel break new high, 2 attempts to go low. We know the story, don't we? Mind you, we had the same there, but there was possibly a break. So you've still got to be a bit careful. See, there is a possible failure there, isn't there? Do I really want to go long here, right in the middle of this? We could come down lower. It may trigger that and push down here. So, there's nothing I can do here at the minute. It is technically a failure. Sort of. And that's an engulfing bar short off the top. They're a little unreliable, so I wouldn't be surprised if this did push up, but there's nothing you can do here. I'd like to see this second move down Somewhere along those lines. So there are buyers here and buyers down there as well. VWAP is down here, whether that makes a difference. They're quite strong, I think. Second entry long, higher low, quite a strong bar right at the EMA, so that may still push up, but you may argue there's a hidden second entry long there. We've got sort of down, pull back and down, but I wouldn't take it, not with this down here. Not a huge amount of buyers down here, but there's enough to make me concerned we're going long here. This is clearly two legs. You can't, it's not a channel, is it? So clearly two legs back. We've got a bounce. So if you can push down with a break and a bounce, if you class that as kind of one move, that as one move, it may push up from there, but I wouldn't do it. Not with this, because there's going to be a stack of liquidity there. So it may trigger and shift down, or it could take off. We had similar there, two legs back, but this came down for a second leg. Mind you, the size of the channel up, you can understand why, but this one, that's a fair size correction for a continuation there. So, we can always do this, and that would take us right up close to this sort of interesting area, couldn't it? And the top of that channel as well, leg up with a correction, leg up, and that would kind of validate this bigger channel a bit more. But as much as I think that we're likely to go a bit higher, I don't want to get in there really. Yeah, it's bullish off the bottom, but not with a lot of liquidity. It could come down and clear all of this. If I was a buyer here, I'd want to buy below all this. I wouldn't want to buy it and then get stopped out clearing all this junk out the bottom. So I'm just sitting down here and waiting. Okay, so we got a doji here, so it's clearly a little bit of uncertainty there. For me, it's got to come down below this, and then I want to see what it looks like. You're starting to see a few aggressive sellers here. There will be a lot of liquidity here. Definitely a choppy day on oil today. I mean, literally, we've been doing that now since 5:30 this morning UK time. Chop, 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 chop. Yeah, it has become weak, isn't it? You never know, do you? Things might just decide to turn. You're right, kid. I'd still like to come down here for me. Pestering me for me. It's gone super slow now. Okay, channel break. Let's see a new low. Clear the path here. 2 legs back. And then maybe we get a move up. How much we got from top to bottom? Not a huge amount. Mr. Lunary, how you doing? You're a new face. I think I've not seen you before. Welcome. Where are you from? Nice to know where you're from. We'll be surrounded by Americans at the moment. I think most of you guys are from the US. There is a few Europeans. 1 or 2. Not many from the UK. A couple. I'm good, mate. I'm good. Very good. Where are you from? Are you UK or are you somewhere else? God, it's so slow at the moment, isn't it? Out of Sweden, out from Pakistan. Fantastic. So you're from Pakistan, are you? So I'm guessing you love your cricket. I'm a big cricket fan. I don't think I've met a Pakistani or anyone who doesn't love their cricket. Sweden, so I'm guessing the weather's a bit cooler than you're used to, then I'm guessing. I'm expecting it to be quite cold in Sweden this time of year. What is going on here? So, we're still slightly bullish here. I mean, we've had a massive push up. It's in the genes. It kind of is, isn't it? Okay, finally we're above this. So now where are things going? Cold, but at -4, are you really? It's not too bad in the UK. I think it's about 7 or 8 degrees in the UK today. It's not too, that's centigrade, that is. It's not too bad. We've had quite a mild winter. We had a chunk of snow got dumped on us a few weeks back, but that disappeared as quick as it came. But at least we're aiming towards spring, aren't we now? We're finally in February. Month today we'll be in or 4 weeks today we'll be in you're at -60 in there. Oh, that's proper cold, that is. That's the hairs inside of your nose freezing kind of temperature. I worked in France years ago when I was a young lad in a ski resort. I remember I got off the coach and it was -13, and that's the first thing I noticed. Nose hairs just freeze up like that. Thursday can be -30. Good grief. Now that's proper cold weather, isn't it? That's definitely hat and gloves weather. That is for certain. That is bone chilling, -30. You don't survive them sort of temperatures if you got the right gear on, do you? Mad that is. Northern Sweden. We have got a few people. We got Jan in. Jan's from Norway, I think. He's not been around for a while. I know he doesn't trade all year round, Jan. So are we getting this push up, 2 attempts to push? So it depends what you think about that bar. The concern for me is taking that there's going to be liquidity. Now, I will say buyers from this level, those bars look nice and strong on that EMA, and they have cleared previous liquidity, so maybe it's going to push up. But I wouldn't trade it myself personally. I'd expect a break and a new low, because I could see there were buyers down here, so that's where I would prefer to get in. But that's kind of where I was hoping price was going to go, 2 legs up. If this is a channel which is fit at the bottom, that would get us kind of in the ballpark. We've got Thursday's highs here, all-time highs up here, so everything's, pointing out to continuation, but that can all change, of course, can't it? With all this stuff looming in the Middle East at the moment, you never know when missiles are going to fly and the markets are going to take a dump. Who knows? Northern Sweden's beautiful. Yeah, I've never been up that way, really. It's one place I've never really been anywhere north. Iceland, I'd love to go to Iceland. I know me and a friend talked about, because you can hire one of those kind of like mobile, what do they call them? The Winnebago-y type things, and drive around the coast of Iceland. I'd love to do that. See the Northern Lights. I've only ever seen the Northern Lights once. I saw them in the UK, maybe 12 months ago. We had them here, and they were really red, absolute stunning. But it does look spectacular once you start going north. But yeah, we had some stunning northern lights. I'd never seen them before. It was spectacular in the UK where we had it. I think it was about 12 months ago. I've never been to the US, no. It's on my list of to-goes, the places to go, but closest I've been is Cuba. But I've never actually kind of been to mainland. Well, yeah, what is it, 60 miles off the coast, Cuba, something like that, isn't it? Yeah, but it's on my list of to-goes. Yeah, this is above where I live. When was this? October last year. It was amazing. Never seen it before like that. Just completely came out of the blue. Amazing. Amazing. That was the best picture, though. That's my favourite. Lots of nature. Yeah, I don't mind a bit of nature, actually. Extra mosquitoes. I've experienced mosquitoes before. I got married out in Kenya about 19 years ago. And we got battered with them out there. They love me. Well, the mosquito repellent didn't seem to make a damn bit of difference. They just feasted on me. So, what is going on here? It's hard to trade this stuff. Yeah, I agree. 2 pushes down, but how much further is it going to go? It's not easy to trade this stuff at the moment. There is 700 contracts for sale up there. Now, whether they've just put them there and they're going to yank them, who knows? When you see large amounts of contracts like that, sometimes, mind you, we get 2 legs up, you sell it up here, wouldn't be the worst place to sell, would it? Big channel up with the break, measured move. If you want to sell this market today, I'd certainly be picking up. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but I'd certainly be picking measured moves and, these types of scenarios. So 798 contracts there, which is a fair amount. There are sellers at 15, which is there. There are buyers at 10-ish. Which is kind of there. So what does that tell you? Buyers here, sellers here and here. Pull back, pick up some buyers, push up, who knows? I prefer sellers above the highs, which tells me it's going to continue on. But there are buyers there. Not something I will be doing. I would like to see all this lot get liquidated first before I went in. I think we went in. We went at Christmas actually, which I think February when we were in Kenya. I think February is the hottest month, but it was pretty hot where we were. It's one of the only holidays I've ever had where I've had the air conditioned on 24 hours a day. Yeah, it was proper hot. You're just constantly. It's the only place I've been to where you're always kind of damp. You're always wet. You just constantly seem to be sweating. Just a message from Karina. So like, how are you? Good. Question: did you get paid by Rise? It was Rise. Okay, so we've got a little possible breakout pullback. Trouble is, you never quite know how this is going to react, especially when we got buyers down here. You don't know. I'd much prefer to trigger a bear bond and give us a higher low. Possible second entry long. Not sure about this. I'm not going to take this. It could push up. It could come further back. Okay, so there is a bull bar there. I wouldn't be doing that. I'll be waiting for a second entry long or something further down. Let's see if it's triggered that. Let's see if it comes down. Few attempts to go back, couple of legs down. Okay, excuse me, just a sec. might just rabbit on. What did I say? But yeah, I mean, when you start trading in these wider channels there, it's clearly working up somehow. It's very hard to trade. These, straightforward if you can get setups, because, you know, every 5 minutes or so, it's coming back to, you know, the channel or the EMA. You can see the EMA is following that really nicely, but when it's doing this, EMA starts weaving up and down like this. The trouble is, we're clearly moving up, but you don't know how far it's going to come back before it takes off. We've got a couple of legs back. It could have took off there, but it didn't. Came back here. So have we got to wait for it to come back here now, or is it going to continue up? So it's so hard to trade this, and this is where your patience just really kicks in. You do get patient after a time, but I'd say really it took me the best part of 4 years just to start to just not bother jumping in anymore. We all know what we're supposed to do, but doing it is it's a completely different ball game. Once those emotions start kicking in, it's very hard to control anything. But that does come with time. The more you get messed around, the more you get chopped up, and the more you lose. Sooner or later, you just give up, and obviously your skill level's improving, and you know your exposure to those emotions, you start to get used to it, and things then start to fall into place. But you have to be patient. I thought it was going to be the hardest thing of all for me. It's actually the easiest now. But you do realise in the end, if you sit patiently, it takes the pressure off you as well as wait for a great trade. You're not under pressure then. You've just got to sit and wait patiently. And I think this may be a super patient day today, because I can't see much going on here at the moment. So I'm probably going to knock it on the head, I think, for the day. I've done 3 hours and 45 minutes. I may come back for half an hour or so later. We'll see. But it's the first trading day of the month anyway, so there's plenty left of the month. So, you know, I don't need to get much. But if I get 3 winning trades, I'll make more than I did last month. Obviously, I traded some on the CL chart, which is a little bit less profit, and 1 or 2 on individual accounts. But 3 trades on something like this for 3 points, that give me the best part of 12 grand. So you don't need a lot. So I'm going to leave it there. I'll be back again tomorrow. I might pop back for an hour later, just to see how things progress. But I'm going to leave you guys to it. So I appreciate your company. I'll be back again tomorrow. Have a great evening. Stay safe. And we'll catch up tomorrow. Bye for now.